Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is frustrating. Today I'm going to talk about why I think GX transmission is trash and why everyone should avoid it at all costs. Let's get into it. Okay, so a little backstory on the system. Back around a year ago, the GX transmission was released and I was extremely excited about it because it would add an entry for me to try out this really awesome technology. So I ended up finding one on Pink Bike for a slightly discounted price. It was new, but second-hand owner. So I ended up purchasing that for about $900. Got it on the bike. I was extremely fascinated with the performance. It was all like they said it was. So I went to a local enduro race here in the Bay Area and my first problem occurred. I had major problems with the derailleur, electrical problems. So that is fixed now. I went to climb up to stage 1, went to shift the shifter, nothing happened. Started scrambling to figure out what the problem was because I needed to get up to stage 1. Thankfully, there was a bike shop nearby, so I ended up purchasing a Axis battery because I thought there was a good chance that there was something wrong with the Axis battery I had on the bike. Come to find out, that was not the issue. Lights out, nothing was happening. Couldn't figure out what the deal was. Ended up taking my dad's GX Axis derailleur off his bike. I ended up running that and that got me through the rest of the day. But that could have totally ended my race, which would have really sucked. After that, I lost a lot of confidence in the system. But I had already spent almost $1,000 on the system, so I really didn't want to give up on it yet. So I ended up sending it off to see if I could get it warranted, and sadly, I was not able to get it warranted because it was second-hand. I was really frustrated with how SRAM handled that, and that just it left a sour taste in my mouth with SRAM, and so I tried to solve it myself. So the bike shop owner I had opened the case with SRAM, said it started working again. He just threw a battery in it and it started working. So I thought that was really odd that it just all of a sudden started working. Fast forward about 2 weeks ago, and that's when the major issues started happening. I noticed it got worse and worse, progressively worse throughout the weeks to come. And next thing you know, I was pulling out the battery and kicking the derailleur constantly just to get it to work. It would be like every 5 minutes or less, the derailleur would stop working. And eventually got to the point where I went to go out for just a little ride and boom, nothing would happen. Didn't matter how many times I pulled the battery out or I put a new battery in and made sure that they were all charged, nothing would work. The only thing that would work is I would get a slight bit of light if I really pressed on the battery against the derailleur pins, which got me thinking, it's got to be something with the battery contacts. So I ended up looking at the pins on the derailleur and I noticed how they were offset. One was sticking out further than the other. I took some tweezers and it had some play in it. So I came to the conclusion on what the issue was, and the issue ended up being the pogo pins. So you can see there's slack in the pogo pin, and my theory is that it got corroded and it can no longer fully extend. So it's mostly that right pin that's the issue. So we're going to go ahead and swap these out, so that should fix the problem. Unlike all the other Axis products where the battery is mounted vertically, this one is mounted horizontally on the top of the derailleur. And what the problem is with that is that when water gets in between, because it's not watertight between the battery and the pogo pins, I think that the water is sitting in there, ends up getting in the pogo pins, corroding the inside of the pogo pins. These things are spring loaded, so if water gets in there and corrodes the spring, it's not going to be able to push all the way up and make contact with the battery. SRAM, I know you know this issue. You really need to fix it. I spent $1,000 on the system and I've just been having countless issues with this system. Just fix it, please. This was extremely frustrating because the system is so good other than that design flaw. So if you guys are looking into the GX transmission, just avoid the thing. As far as I'm aware, this is only going to be on the SX and GX models that this mostly happens to, because the other designs, you know, the XX and XO are designed vertically, which means water can't easily sit where the pogo pins are. This theory also got backed up by a buddy that had 2 GX transmission derailleurs go bad, and he thought that they were fried, and I'm pretty sure that ended up being the pogo pins because it acts like it was fried because nothing happens, lights out. So I wanted to mention there is a fix for this, which is to replace the pogo pins. So if you're willing to get deep into taking apart electronics, you're in for a treat. This thing was such a pain in the butt to take apart, and you even need an anti-tamper set to even take it completely apart. Let alone messing with these tiny pins with a soldering iron. SRAM, this is actually insane. If you were going to make a cheaper alternative, don't make it like this. This is such a design flaw, and you guys really need to address this. So if you guys could like this video and share it with a buddy, that would make a huge difference because I'm trying to get this out there where SRAM ends up seeing this video and they resolve the issue. It could be such a great system. It's almost it's almost an amazing system. Other than that design flaw that could easily be fixed if they flip the battery horizontally. If you guys are having this issue as well, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to know how many of you guys have also ran into this issue. So long story short, I was able to fix this derailleur. It was a mess. If you see in this image right here, the derailleur has to be almost taken completely apart just to get to the pogo pins. And you're like in the gearbox of this you're in the gearbox of this derailleur, which is just insane. It looks super intimidating, and it kind of was. And then next thing you know, you're also under a microscope trying to unsolder these little tiny pogo pins, and you also need to source these pogo pins. So it was a huge pain in the butt. I was able to source the pogo pins, and I was also able to have one of our neighbors solder the pins back on, or the new pins on. And now the derailleur works again. And something else I wanted to mention that's going to frustrate you guys even more is my dad's derailleur had this happen too. Now I need to fix another one. So now I got to take the whole thing apart and then resolder these tedious little pins back on just to get the derailleur to work. It's just like, it's ridiculous that we're spending so much money on this drivetrain. And then it's just, it breaks. It's a piece of trash. Like, I'm over it, and I have since switched back to cable, and it's not even SRAM cable. I went to Shimano cable because it's just, SRAM needs to really work on they really need to work on this design. This is what they should look like. They spring up and down perfectly. Full travel all the way up. Yeah, so that's it. Rambling. I'm going to stop the video there. If you guys found this video informational and useful, please smash that like button down below. Be sure to share it with your friends and whoever might have this drivetrain as well. And if you guys did like this video, please consider subscribing. If you guys are having this issue and you guys would love to see great alternatives with a clutch as strong as transmission, be sure to subscribe down below because I have a video that's going to get into depth on the different cable actuated derailleurs with the clutch tension, shift quality, and all that jazz. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.